Gather. Verb. Verb forms. Gather. Gathered. 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 Gathering. Come. Bring together. One. Intransitive. Transitive. To come together, or bring people together in one place to form a group. A crowd soon gathered. Plus adverb, preposition. His supporters gathered in the main square. Could you all gather round? I've got something to tell you. The whole family gathered together at Ray's home. Be gathered, plus adverb, preposition. They were all gathered round the TV. A large crowd was gathered outside the studio. The kids were gathered together in one room. 2. Transitive. To bring things together that have been spread around. Gather something. People slowly gathered their belongings and left the hall. Gather something. To gather up. I waited while he gathered up his papers. Collect. 3. Transitive. Gather something. To collect information from different sources. Detectives have spent months gathering evidence. 4. Transitive. Gather something. To collect plants, fruit, etc. from a wide area. To gather wild flowers. Crops. Harvest. 5. Transitive. Gather something in. Formal or literally. To pick or cut and collect crops to be stored. It was late August, and the harvest had been safely gathered in. Believe. Understand. 6. Transitive. Intransitive. Not used in the progressive tenses. To believe or understand that something is true because of information or evidence you have. Gather that. I gather that you wanted to see me. I gather from your letter that you are not enjoying your job. Gather something. There's been a delay. I gathered that. She won't be coming. So I gather. You are self-employed. I gather. As far as I can gather, he got involved in the fight. From what I can gather, there's been some kind of problem. Increase. 7. Transitive. Gather something. To increase in speed, force, etc. The truck gathered speed. During the 1980s, the Green Movement gathered momentum. Thousands of these machines are gathering dust, not being used, in stockrooms. Of clouds, darkness. 8. Intransitive. To gradually increase in number or amount. The storm clouds were gathering. The gathering grew of a winter's afternoon. Clothing. 9. Transitive. To put a piece of clothing tighter to your body. Gather something around you. Something. He gathered his cloak around him. Gather something up. She gathered up her skirts and ran. 10. Transitive. Gather something in. To put parts of a piece of clothing together in folds and sew them in place. She wore a skirt gathered in at the waist. Hold somebody. 11. Transitive. Gather somebody, plus adverb, preposition. To pull somebody towards you and put your arms around them. She gathered the child in her arms and held him close. He gathered her to him. Prepare yourself. 12. Transitive. Gather something. Yourself. To prepare yourself to do something that requires effort. I sat down for a moment to gather my strength. She was still trying to gather her thoughts together when the door opened. Fortunately, the short delay gave him time to gather himself. He paused to gather his breath. Extra examples. As the weeks passed, Charlotte began to gather strength. He gathered her close and kissed her. He gathered her into his arms. She gathered the child to her. She hastily gathered all her belongings together. She was still trying to gather her thoughts when the door opened. The boys gathered around the car. The movement for reform rapidly gathered momentum. They are all gathering for a major conference. She won't be coming. I gathered that. There's been a delay, so I gather. As far as I can gather, he got involved in the fight. Can you all gather round? I've got something to tell you. From what they could gather, there had been some kind of problem back at the base. I gather from your letter that you are not enjoying your job. I gather you wanted to see me. She gathered her things together and got to her feet. The whole family gathered together at Ray's home. They lived in the forest, gathering mushrooms and berries to eat.